Oh, you turned them on?
Good.
Okay.
He had to flip the master switch over there.
Oh,
Get a little
cool.
yeah.
No caller.
You want
Is
to
that-
carry
Okay,
it? Might
sure.
be mine.
So we,
Hello?
all right. So yes, as Rich was saying, and perhaps it wasn't caught in the microphones, but Steve and Dan had worked on an initial job advertisement for the town manager position, and I had worked on a second draft.
I
Was-
will leave in about 20
Okay,
minutes. You guys just can continue on.
Okay.
And you can just close the meeting. I'll be happy with whatever
or
you
we can
guys.
get it done in 20 minutes.
Or you can get it done in 20 minutes. The other thing we do need to talk about and nail down is a process, not only the job announcement, but what is the process we want to, we don't have to do that today. We can continue that discussion
Sure.
on the 24th, but we have several options in how we want to do this with regard to who we want to participate in the process of interviewing
Mhm.
or actually making the decision. It's completely, as we found out from town council, it's completely in our hands as to how we want to run the process of selecting a new town manager.
Right.
So we do need to talk about that as well.
Yes.
But let's get the job
I had
announcement.
just recapped because I
Oh,
wasn't sure
I'm
if the
sorry.
microphones caught it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay.
we're back
So-
to where you were.
Great, and but I think we all agree, we want to get the job announcement, and whatever process we come up with, we want to get a job announcement out as soon as possible.
Yes.
Okay, I agree with.
So Wendy has made some recommendations with respect to adding statements that reflect the current and future development within our town environment that we're expecting,
Did you see my full draft?
including the wastewater treatment plant.
Did you see the draft that I sent?
Yeah, in the email?
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so it wasn't
Um,
just that, it was also the overall format
I-
to make it more similar to what's
We,
currently there in NHMA.
yeah, we followed notional format that we saw for a position that was offered for a town manager out in Vermont, I think that was.
Yeah, Springfield.
So I am personally of the opinion that we need to paint our town in a very positive light because I think that will draw people in. I'm not adverse at all towards including statements to the effect that, we are anticipating future development, current and future development, including our wastewater treatment plant. I think that's fair. Having something that's, if you will, too sterile and just says, here's a job for a town manager without really portraying our town as a desirable place to live and the other aspects that Steve and I were trying to put in there, I think will end up limiting our pool of candidates. So I would encourage that we find a mix between the two. For what you put together with what, Steve and I had put together. I don't think they're exclusive of each other, to be honest with you.
Right.
This is just another example of a format, if you will. Wendy, I didn't get a chance to put your recommended edits into it. So that format is with all of the suggestions that I had initially sent out. Just something to.
Does this
So-
include Wendy's initial
Yes,
but not her full
correct.
draft?
It includes her initial
Right.
suggestion regarding the treatment plant.
Right. I was actually going to be, and I'm sorry again, I have to leave. I do want to make a point. I think I would be more specific that we need someone who could work with the US Forest Service. That's an extremely important part of being a town manager here. If we're going to mention the wastewater treatment facility, we ought to mention as well then that that involves the US Forest Service, DES and EPA. I think that may entice somebody. If that's going to give someone pause, I'd have pause about
Yes.
somebody who would apply.
Right.
I mean, I think we should say, you know, this is a lot, to me, I guess what I'm trying to say is this is fine. I like what you wrote, Wendy, and I can see melding the two. But I think we need to highlight the fact that really highlight the fact that there is a big project. They won't be the project manager, but it's going to consume still a lot of the time and effort of a
Yes.
town manager. And we need somebody who can work with other entities at the state and federal level, specifically DES, the Forest Service, and EPA.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with including that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we can have a whole paragraph on the development that's planned and, you know, both now and in the future, because it's not just the town development,
Mhm.
we also have potentially the gondola project going in and so forth.
Well,
And the-
significant commercial development is planned
Commercial
over the next 10
development.
years.
Yes.
And, you're right,
And you know, in essence, that if that commercial development includes, you know, a redevelopment of our town square area, if you will. Because their plans encompass their wide, large scale project. So reflecting that in the job ad, and certainly, calling out that in a prominent way within a separate paragraph in there, I don't think is, I don't have a problem with that.
I
That's
think-
okay.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
okay
we
with
sh-
that.
I think we do need to look at, like, even what Steve gave us is great, but it cuts out like 5 of the paragraphs that were in the original thing, which I think is the more appropriate way to go, a bit more streamlined. My concern is that having something really long that dives into, I mean, the initial draft was really well written, and honestly, I think you should send it to the marketing organization for the town and for the resort, because it highlights so many great things. But I'm not sure that what it highlights is necessary for someone who's looking for a position here. Like, I'm not even sure they'd be able to live in town. So,
Yeah.
like, and I kind of doubt that they would because of, everything.
how are they gonna live in town?
Yeah,
So as I'm envisioning this, there's a likelihood that potential candidates will not be familiar with Waterville Valley. I mean, we may have 1 or 2 candidates who are,
Mhm.
and there may be other candidates who are not. And the job advertisement needs to serve, if you will, also as an introduction to our town. And that's one reason why I felt some of the statements that Steve had put in the first one was very good. Because it kind of like, oh, this is a cool place. Oh, this is going on. This is nice. Oh, I like that. Maybe this is somewhere I want to work. And I can tell you, as one who's looked at a lot of job advertisements over the years, sometimes you read them and you're like, oh, okay, I'm not going to apply to that one. Because it doesn't draw you into the position.
yeah. Oh, I understand that, and I completely see that mine is on the other spectrum of,
It's more matter of fact.
yes.
It is.
And I'm fine with adding more to that and finding that balance between the two. I just think it needs to be more of a balance, focusing on what the job is as opposed to what the community, like,
Yep.
definitely explain the community, but I just felt like it was a bit light on what we
Yes,
need, what the town needs.
I had that sense as well. I mentioned one, and on that, we have to make plain that we're not looking for someone to actually manage that
Yes,
project. that
absolutely.
Working with a project manager to, blah, 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 but I would have,
Oh, can I interrupt?
yeah, go ahead.
You had stated, we need to look at the process too, right?
Right.
Yes.
And I think a big part of that process will be to reevaluate the current job description of the town manager.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's where you'll find that we'll need to, be a little more intentional about the job duties within the description. The advertisement is different than that, right? The advertisement, I think, is, you're not articulating all of the actual functions of that position. You're throwing something out there to attract candidates to look further into that job.
But they're gonna have to look at that, would they have access to that job description as it exists now?
I've started making some suggestions on how I feel maybe we want to relook at that job description. I will have it, I'll have all my suggestions ready for you at your next meeting on the 24th.
Can you have them ready for us before the meeting?
I will
So we
try.
can- Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Well,
I
that-
value your input on it.
That raises the question whether we want to go out with a job advertisement before we have a
I
new.
think we have to, and we have such a.
I
great time
agree.
window. And and we can explain as we go through the process, that we are in the midst. We've just lost someone who's been here for 25 years, very suddenly. So I think it would be almost expected.
That
to
was
be
my
working
thought.
through some of that.
But before changing it, Steve, I'm sorry, because I have to rush, but before changing it, is it good enough now to go with whatever we agree with today to get something out, the description?
Can,
And then we
I
can
would think
pull
so.
it back and change it.
Yeah, I think we need to get the ad because the ad's gonna be very general.
can we meld some of the statements and suggestions that have been made today into what we've already created, and then pare down a little bit the flowery language, if you will, that highlights, the beauty of our wonderful place? I mean, I was sitting at the golf course yesterday and somebody said, wow, this place is just beautiful. Right? And that's something I think we all take away. That's one of the things that draws people into our town, is obviously the beauty and such. So I don't want to lose all of that within the job description, but I do believe that Rich and Wendy have made some very good points today, and I certainly would support adding that language into this. But I also agree with Wendy's comment that it can't be, 12 pages long on the job description, on the job advertisement. Does that make sense? So if we could
Yeah, I mean, I think we're fine with
create
that.
sort of an abridged version of what we have with some additional language that highlights all of this development and the associated
I think
aspects of
Pick
it.
up the key, highlight the key.
Right. Because I totally understand wanting to attract more people interested, but I just don't want to waste anyone's time and have them be attracted, but then find out, oh my gosh, I don't want to deal with all that.
Well,
Or have
We
someone look
got
at it.
we
and
got a
say-
lot coming.
Or
Correct.
the inverse and say, oh, well, this looks like a nice, lovely thing, and I'm looking for something more of a challenge. So we want to make sure to
Right.
find that.
Right,
Right.
it's them to find someone who's looking for a nice slow coast into
Yeah.
retirement,
Yeah, it's not that.
which is not us.
yeah, that is,
It's
It's not gonna be anyone who takes a job, that's not it.
Yeah.
I think we're looking for a younger, harder charging,
Someone with some
manager.
ambition. Yeah.
yeah. Who has some ambition, who sees something like being involved with this huge $100 million plus project,
Yeah.
even not as project manager, as a big thing that will read well
Yeah.
in a resume going forward for a larger, even a city.
Or even just, know that they've had that impact on the
No,
community. and
that's right,
helped
just
create it.
self-fulfillment
Yeah.
So I'm hearing it's important for the board that we attracting candidates that have had prior experience dealing with large infrastructure projects. I'm hearing that we're trying to attract someone who has experience working across multiple state and federal agencies. Is there anything else in there that I'm not picking up?
Significant commercial development,
Yeah, the point that-
private commercial
Private
development.
commercial.
right, so there's private commercial development where the town plays a key role in helping facilitate that process.
See, if you go down that route, really, to my mind, the introduction is more along the lines of Waterville Valley is a growing, vibrant
Right.
community.
The dynamism that's here.
Right,
Yeah.
and you may even say that in recent years, you can, whether or not you want to bring the change in everything after COVID, you really want to mention that, but that's exactly what's happened to us. We've almost doubled in population. There's significant development, both residential and commercial. On top of that, the town has this huge project that it's dealing with beyond the usual. And well, the first part has, we don't want to say strain, but what has had a great impact on operate normal daily town operations. And we're looking for a manager who can stay on top of that, whether it's road work or water sewer, that sort of thing. Then when someone, I think, thinks of town manager, they're thinking of town operations, right? And then you start thinking about the capital improvements. You can almost treat the wastewater treatment facility like a capital improvement
Sure.
in a way. But beyond that, we're pulling in, we have to put in this new state-of-the-art $100 million wastewater treatment facility, one of the strictest in the nation because of our location. I mean, but you start off with Waterville Valley is changing. It is a dynamic, growing community.
Well, that,
We're not the sleepy resort town.
but growing also implies to most town managers residential growth. And I think our potential for residential growth within the town is extremely
I would-
limited. We're about 97+% built.
Yes, but they can take that
And-
lot, that plot
Yeah.
there of whatever it is, 17
Mhm.
acres and turn it into all residential if they
Thanks to
wanted
the
to.
state now, our
Yeah.
hands
So-
are tied. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
so,
But-
but you're right. I take your general point. It could be
That's the point that
misleading,
Mark had made to me.
right?
Was, Dan, the commercial development is critical to the future of Waterville Valley.
Yeah.
Because we have limited potential to new homes and
If,
so forth.
if this concept plan put forward by Terrell comes to pass,
Right,
but, they also have the right, and maybe they're exploring that possibility when their project
with
was.
alternative, yeah.
When the project, Venture Zone project was denied by the planning board to just put up more condominiums. They
Yeah.
can't build single family homes in that land, but they can build it all out as condominiums. They do not want to do that. They've said that
Right.
repeatedly. James has said that repeatedly. But at some point, it may become a business decision that they have to make
Sure,
reluctantly.
sure.
So we have to find a way to not mislead someone to
I
think,
don't,
Yes.
that's my
right, your point.
point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I am going to leave now. I'm sorry about
Have
this,
fun with your
everybody.
dishwasher.
Wendy, if you can take over.
Yeah.
And I will I'll check in with Steve and see how this all came out, but I'll be happy with whatever you guys agree with.
So,
And we will meet again
On Wednesday?
on Wednesday at the usual time.
Yes.
We have a full agenda, believe me.
Yeah.
just as before you walk out,
Yes,
a
sir.
word on process.
Yes,
I have been approached by several people in town asking whether we are going to have a town committee
yes, so.
involved
Yes.
with the hiring process.
Yes.
And to date, what I have told people is that by statute, that this is a select board responsibility.
Figure out the process.
It's a select board responsibility to hire the town manager.
Right.
We do not have to, we're not under any obligation whatsoever
To
to have a
create
town
a-
committee.
Right.
However, that's something certainly I do believe we should,
We could, well.
we
that's
can
what we
take
need to
under
discuss.
That's what we
consideration
need,
and
that's
so
what we
forth
need.
as
to
we
do.
move.
No, I
forward.
think your answer is absolutely correct, and I've
You
said
know.
similar to people who have asked as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve, I will be back, because I think we need to talk about the agenda for next Wednesday. So I'll be back as soon as this thing is done. Okay, all right, we'll see you guys
Okay.
later.
Have fun.
Yeah, oh, yeah, we always know something's gonna go wrong too. right?
Oh, come on, be optimistic.
It's when they shut the water off and it doesn't shut off.
Yeah, there's always something. There's always something.
All right, so should we plug through some of the nitty gritty or leave it to Steve to work his magic?
I have quite a few takeaways here. If you want me to turn up another draft that I can share with you.
I
The
think
job
that would be great.
advertising. And then I'll also include what work I'm suggesting of the position description.
On the job description.
Yeah, the one thing that we need to continue to talk about is the tax collector,
Of course,
how that's.
Yes.
settled.
absolutely.
That's the thing.
I
But
think,
other than that,
yeah, I think we have a general consensus that we're looking at separating that, just a matter of how and what that looks like. in the end.
I think if we're going to separate that, we have to do that.
Town
through a
meeting.
Town
It
meeting
has to be
vote.
town meeting, yes. But we have
And
to
that may be a
instigate that.
path forward that we seriously need to consider, certainly.
So, quick update on that, that I shared with Rich, is that I contacted Joe, Crystal,
Mhm.
the mental group, for guidance in this situation. So we have 30 days from the date of the tax collector's departure to appoint a new tax.
Now, with you acting as interim, are you covering that as well theoretically and in his description here?
I am not
Okay,
the deputy. So
The
Kristen
deputy.
is the deputy
Okay.
tax collector, so she's the one who's performing the tax collector responsibilities in the absence of a tax.
Does that suffice? According to Joe, or do we need to
Appoint.
appoint somebody
said-
in addition?
In a typical manner, that appointment would fall on the deputy. So he said typically in a situation like this, the select board would appoint the deputy tax collector
Sure.
as the tax collector
right,
in the interim till we get to town meeting. And then that opens up another discussion, which I still need to use that time.
Okay,
okay, thank you. That's good to know. All right. Um. Yeah, I think those are, so you have Richard's comments, question of mine, Dan's.
Okay.
So will you just send that out to us?
As soon as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll be working on it today, so hopefully before the end of it.
okay, that would be great. Good. Anything else you need from us on that?
But this can totally wait until Wednesday, but I do have a signed permit application in front of me for these Toma sign that comes up. every
Oh,
time
for the
it's-
annual, yeah, we should probably wait till Wednesday on that, right? Yeah,
But other than that, I don't. have
just for
any-
the tent sale. The tent sale every Wednesday week.
oh,
But we can do that on Wednesday, when
There's-
it's just here. so.
two of us, we can sign it, it's. I mean, if you wanna just get it done right now, I'm okay with that.
Please wait till our normal, our
Okay.
regular meeting, since it's just a special.
Put it on
Is
the-
next week soon enough?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, they
Okay.
need it for mid-October, so.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've covered all of our agenda items for today, right? Good. Well, if there's nothing, else-
I had a-
Yeah.
We have, I had a comment and a question. It's not on our agenda, normally we have a select board raise. an
right,
issue.
because this is a special meeting, yeah.
Do we just, are we gonna skip that? Okay,
I mean, if what your
that's fine.
comment could wait till Wednesday, but if it's.
Yeah, no, I can wait till Wednesday. It was just, I noticed that they had put these markers in the
Yellow
roads. And
tabs,
my first thought was, we're just gonna plow those right off.
well, that was just in waiting for the painting, right?
Is that
Steve?
right? I don't know. That was my only
I,
question.
my assumption was it was waiting for the painting.
That sounds reasonable, but I'll follow up with Megan.
Okay,
Okay,
great. Yeah, I noticed those this morning, or yesterday, whenever it was.
it just, when I saw
Yeah.
that, I went, huh?
Okay, well, then if there's nothing else. Motion to adjourn,
I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
we have a second.
All in
favor?
favor?
Aye. Good,
Thank you.
all right.